Yes, hi, and welcome to the Dark Knight Conspiracies, episode 95. Faith in humanity will be tested. Well, another interesting week, and a lot to cover here, and a lot I'm not going to cover because it's too much, and I don't want to get into hour type shows. I like to keep it short and simple. So without further ado, let's get into it. People are probably wondering why I'm bringing this one up. Voting in France started today, and everything was leaning towards this Marine Le Pen was in hot pursuit of Macron. The latest results I've seen is Macron's up pretty big. Why am I bringing this up? Well, and I'm going to bring this up several times, and I ask people, just open your minds. Open your minds. Because all the 17 board people, we've been told that these leaders will be dealt with. Trudeau, Macron, and that this would be a sign that things are happening behind the scenes, and we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, but it's not looking good right now. So my question is, okay, what happened? Because these people were supposed to be relieved of their duties, so to speak. But we'll see how it goes. So this next story came up this week, and actually MSNBC was the first one to report on this, and I think this is interesting because if you're trying to awake everybody, at some point you're going to have to get them on board, because the people that aren't awake are still watching these networks. And so far, we haven't seen them taken down like the board promised us. And U.S. officials admit. Now, this is Sleepy Joe's staff, that they're lying to the public about this whole Ukraine-Russia stuff. Go figure. I mean, they're just throwing it up in your face. And again, I think this is all distraction, because they're blaming everything on this whole Russia-Ukraine thing, and I just don't understand. I guess people just aren't going to wake up, and for those of us that are, it's all you can do is do what you can. You're not gonna red pill people anymore at this stage of the game. But I mean, they're throwing it up in our face, and okay, life goes on. Life goes on, folks. So this gets back into what I've been talking about with this whole financial stuff. So Russia urges BRIC nations to create their own SWIFT monetary system. Now, BRICS are Brazil, Russia, India, China. And again, as I've stated, they are going to take down the European Union and the United States monetary system, which has been predicted in Revelation that we will have a one world monetary system. And for all you Nasara Jacera people saying, oh, it started, and yeah, you're right, it started. The question is, what's the ultimate goal here? Is it going to be all done through blockchain, through a card type system where physical money no longer exists and everything's going to be controlled by, the internet or whatever. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but it's coming. I mean, the signs are out there, and if you haven't, you still got some time, in my opinion. If you haven't done anything to prepare, now's the time, because I think the window is closing, and just to get back on the 17 board. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, just look up what the 17th letter of the alphabet is. And by the way, happy Palm Sunday, everybody. Passover has started. Glory and praise to the Lord. But we've been going through this since 2018. We get to this time period and everybody says, this is it. This is the year. And I guess I don't know exactly what the word. I'm not optimistic. But my only response to that is, well, I'll see you next year, people. Because all the stories were out there this weekend that on Friday they were going to announce Queen Elizabeth has passed. There'd be a 3-day blackout. Banks would shut down over the weekend, and great news would happen on Monday, 4/11, which seems to be a significant date, and it is, because it has to do with the original Passover. And I just tell everybody, well, I was laughing because everybody was like, on Thursday, watch your TV. Watch the news, because it's coming. Well, okay, like I said, I'll see you next year, people. You people keep falling into this stuff, and the sooner you start dealing in reality, the better off we're all going to be. There's a reason they call it the Great Deception, and we could go down such a rabbit hole with this because, as I've said, both sides are deceiving. Both sides are creating deception. And the deception they created was you can't trust anybody. And in my opinion, that is dangerous. Except for there is one person you can trust, and the Bible tells us, put no faith in man, for he will always lie and let you down. But the Lord will never lie to you. Glory and praise to the Lord. So this next one, and nobody really covered it from what I saw. I found it online, and this happened on a Thursday. Major power outage forces Puerto Rico to shutter schools and offices. They are without electricity and some without water after an island-wide blackout. Now, some would say there was an operation going on here. Hey, could very well be, because for those of us that know anything about Puerto Rico, this is the hub of the United States Financial Corporation. And I say corporation. And for years, I tried telling people that, the Constitution tells us taxation and income tax is illegal. Well, how did they get around it? Well, I'm gonna, and you can do your own research on this, I'm gonna tell you how they got around it. Most people don't realize every single banking transaction, every single payroll transaction, everything first goes to Puerto Rico. Then they turn it around and send it back to the United States. Now, what happens during that process? That's how they got around the whole taxation thing. Because legally, they are allowed to tax the money as it comes back in. Get the picture? This is why people have gone into the court system and tried to argue that taxation's illegal and this and that. Well, again, it's the United States corporation. They're a sovereign nation. They're not part of this country. And this is how they get around it. So I thought this was interesting. And again, there may be some type of situation going on there that we're not allowed to see, but we'll see how it plays out. So let's go around the world, because we know there's a major blackout already in what's going on around the world, and nobody's reporting about it. So the Ukraine war ignites protests in Peru as inflation anger grows global. What the hell does Ukraine have to do with inflation? Nobody gets anything from these people. That their economy is crucial to what they provide. And the same with Russia. Again, people are falling for this stuff, but the people in Peru aren't, because they're protesting and it's violent. Now, before I get into the next article, when this whole stuff started 2 years ago with the, the CV stuff, I had numerous conversations with people, and for 2 years, I kept saying the same thing. Why is it that the rest of the world, the whole world, is coming down with this thing, but yet none of the state leaders, none of our government people, far and few between, couple cases here and there, nobody caught it for 2 years. For 2 years! And I kept saying, there's something wrong, because they were promoting, the thing. And we all know, and this is going to get into a common sense theme as I wind this down, but we all know common sense. These people didn't take it. But lo and behold, now it's big. 67 attendees, a high-profile D.C. dinner test positive. This includes Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi. The list goes on, and this is just since Monday. Merrick Garland. And a lot of theories out there on this stuff. I don't know. Some say it's code for arrests. Okay, I'm not buying that one. Some say it's code for they're not allowed to travel and their passports have been revoked. Okay, I'm not buying that one. Quite frankly, I think they're setting the tone for another wave of lockdowns with another strain. Dr. Doom's out there saying, August, we could see another surge. So, this... let's get into the common sense thing. What is common sense? Well, common sense tells us if a tree falls in the woods, I don't need to be there to know it makes a sound. 2 + 2 = 4. If I take a sharp knife and go across the palm of my hand, not only will it cut me, but I will bleed. That's common sense. So, continuing on the common sense theme, and this is going to go along the lines of the 17 board. These people are stupid. Well, you know what? These people can read also. Are you going to sit there and tell me, since that thing started, that the other side hasn't been reading this? And, we get our red lines, and there's all these red lines out there that, once one of these lines across, the military's going to step in, and, one of them's going to be we've been hearing about it, there's going to be a cyber attack, the internet's going to go down, social media's going to go down, news is going to go down, nothing's going to get out. And that's going to be a red line. Common sense. If I'm on the other side, I'm just sitting back and I'm going to go, hey, Pelosi, hey, Sleepy Joe, hey, look, we're trying to keep our power here, and, we're trying to avoid getting the military involved. Maybe this is not a good idea if we do this. Because we're all watching the movie, right? That's what we've been told. Everything's scripted. This was all handled a long time ago because they needed to do this so the people would wake up, right? Common sense, folks. They're all in this together. Regardless if it's for good or bad. They're all in this together. The question is, for what purpose? And I'm sure Revelation would have a lot of answers for us. What happened to bringing us all together, get rid of the divisiveness and dividing us? Both sides are doing it. Orange Man goes on his rallies. That's all he's doing. It's us against them. One side's better than the other. And again, that's biblical because, good and evil, right? One side's better than the other. And yet, nobody's questioning this. So, we get this. And I've seen the comments. I've gone on the boards. People are pulling their hair over this one. And there's people defending it. This one's a mystery. So he's in North Carolina, yet he endorses somebody in Pennsylvania. Now, this guy's a liberal. Do your research. And we've seen this before. When they know they can't win running as a Democrat, they run as a Republican. Trump did the same thing. Everybody thought he was a Democrat until the time he ran. This guy is a liberal. He's against the Second Amendment. I think the only probably good thing about him is he's pro-life. But the comments, and again, how'd he get famous? Going on the Oprah show. Hello! Common sense. And everybody's scratching their head. And it's, why does he keep surrounding himself by bad people? Well, some would say, he only endorses people that he knows can win. Okay, well, that's the narcissism coming out because he doesn't want to be able to say, well, you endorse this person and they lost, so your endorsement means nothing. No, we can't have that, folks. Can't have that. And, it's the lesser of two evils, just like what we had with, Hillary and Orange Man in 2016. Granted, it was. we knew what the other side was, so what choice did we have? So, again, is this where we're at? There's a famous saying, evil flourishes when good people do nothing. And that kind of started back in the 70s when we allowed Roe vs. Wade, because that's when we allowed God's creation to be killed. And don't think God is not going to have vengeance on us for that. There are no free passes. But I'll leave the links to these articles. Just scroll down and look at these comments. How he's even dividing his own base. Why would you do that? Again, everything is getting delayed, and I'm going to keep going back to, if you want to unite, not only the country, but the world. Where's all these child rescues? Why aren't you throwing those out there? Why aren't you showing the footage? You still have some news networks out there, internet and on TV, that are somewhat reporting the truth. I mean, you're starting to see it I'm surprised that CNN and MSNBC are actually starting to report some truth. But again, is that the plan to take Sleepy Joe out? Because the 17 board said, he's got to be replaced. How do you sneak one in? Again, I'll see you next year, people. But one thing you can't discount. This is the collapse of our financial system. Now it's a question of when does it hit here. I believe you're going to see it happen in Europe first, and it'll probably be only a week or two after that it hits here. We're starting to see inflation. People are going to start feeling the pain. Again, for all you people on the board, pain is coming. Pain, all the posts with pain. Ask yourself, who was that really meant for? Was it meant for them, or was it meant for us? And whatever your faith is, whether you have it or not, humanity and faith, I believe, are about to be seriously tested. And this is where you can't fear. This is where you need to stay strong in your convictions, have your moral compass, because quite frankly, that's the only thing that's going to save you. We have no idea how dark this could get before we actually do come into the light. And I do believe that's a possibility, but when I hear the phrase, and again, going back to the board, nothing can stop what's coming. I know God can. Just because of my faith. You can tell me I'm batshit crazy, whatever. I don't care. You're entitled to your opinion. But that could be either the narcissism and the arrogance to say nothing can stop what's coming, or is God driving that bus? Time will tell. It's an interesting question, because these people do mock God. They've been mocking God for centuries. Why is now any different? That's like me saying, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go to Gucci and just help myself to some purses and some bags and some jewelry, and you know what? Nobody's going to stop me. That is ignorance at its finest. That's the arrogance. Because there's quite a few people that can stop me. So, tomorrow's date has religious significance, as does April 15th, Tax Day. Ask yourself, why was Tax Day on April 15th? Well, I did this in one of my very first shows when I started doing this. Go research historic events that happened in the month of April. You'll be surprised at what you come up with and how many of them surround April 15th. It's a satanic date that they celebrate. So, I don't know, maybe nothing will happen this year. I mean, there have been years where nothing has happened. I'm just saying. But I do believe people are going to suffer. Not trying to be Doomsday Dave here. But we got to start facing reality. Have you gone shopping lately? Have you seen the prices of food? You know, this bird flu, nobody's covering it. Last I saw is like 28 million poultry have been euthanized. I wonder what that's going to do to the price, right? We've heard they're out of power. Their back's against the wall. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at us. Yeah, they are. You back an animal into a corner, it's going to fight for survival. So yeah, we can expect the kitchen sink coming, folks. They're just not going to say, I give up. I'm sorry, I give up. Not going to happen. But I couldn't help but laugh at all these people thinking, you know, they were going to come out with the Queen announcement and all this stuff was going to happen to the weekend. And here's what I say to you people. If you follow that board religiously as you think you do, a lot of stuff still hasn't happened yet. Common sense. So that's my rant for this week, and we'll see what next week holds. And again, there's a lot of stuff I could have gone into with the whole, you know, Supreme Court justice getting nominated to the position, and you know, all of a sudden this stuff's all conspiracy now that you know, pedophilia doesn't exist. Tell that to the Catholic Church, folks. How long's that shit been going on and documented? This stuff's all conspiracy, right? The news had to come out and admit the laptop is real. Well, here's my question. Where are the other laptops? Where's Wiener's laptop? That had the insurance policy on it, right? Where's Pelosi's laptop? That disappeared after the January 6th stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. Trump's got it all. Okay, well we'll just wait for that. We'll wait for that to come out. Again, that'll be another year and a half or 2 years. I mean, this is all happening because we have to be taught a lesson, right? Well, I agree with that. We do have to be taught a lesson, but you know what? I would rather have God teach me my lessons than these people. Bible tells us the meek shall inherit the earth. And we may be on that precipice, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. There's still some things you can do to at least help yourselves, because we have no idea. None of this may happen, but if it does, you better be ready. The board tells us that. Doesn't the board tell us the ending's not for everybody? Read into that, folks. You can go both ways with that one. This is my whole point. I can twist and turn and spin everything to fit my narrative. But I just give you my opinion because it's what's inside me. And it's my relationship with God that gets me through all this, and that points me in the right direction. The Bible tells me He will walk with me through this journey, and He will not forsake me. That's about the best trust you can find in this world right now. So with that being said, God bless everybody. Stay strong. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. Be prepared. Do something. It's not like it's not going to go to waste, folks, to buy a little extra food, rice, pasta noodles, water. You're going to use it. It can't hurt. Stay strong, stay safe, stay vigilant. I just look forward to Easter next week and this Passover week. God bless everybody. Zebra 3, take us home.